Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you all with open arms. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with suspicious syndrome, OCD and the like. And hopefully along the way with this is tips and advice for your general health versus your personal health struggles, or even just words of encouragement here and there, basically when you are down and out or needing some lights or encouragement or what have you. I am your girl, hopefully to bring out these bits as well as many other bits and pieces for your fun, entertainment and enjoyment along the way when you're journeying with me through this journey together on this channel. So it has been brought to my attention, as said, that basically at this point of time I'm doing the autism and theories. So therefore, as I said, it will be a lot of broad topics out there, especially for the mental health ones I'm going to address as well. Which also, just to give me a heads up below of how I'm doing with these, and if you've got any suggestions for some of this is autism and related or what have you, please comment them below so that hopefully I can see that you guys are engaging, because I'm hoping to just bring out as much as I can in this form of awareness and understanding for you all, because as I said so much before, can't clearly stress it enough, that basically with this, it's still new and it's still kind of in a stage of where people still are having their misunderstandings of people who are autistic and that, and tend to think that every autistic is the same, which we're not, because we shouldn't be confined in a box one way or another, regardless of how others want us to be and whatnot. We should be able to be our own selves like any one of us should be, to be able to speak our mind and whatever else that may be. So this one's all about how to interpret autistic body language. And obviously, at this point in time, basically, I already have shared about the body language of autism and body language, which I'll link in the description below, as well as in the iCard in the top right corner for you guys to refer back to as reference to get an understanding to what I shared so far. So let's begin this one, and hopefully I'm doing these. And as you just kind of before I begin, as always, I'm a medical doctor. I'm just your normal class, sharing my life stories with you all, and if you see any warning signs or symptoms regarding of any particular topics I share for yourself or your loved one, seek professional help, or even seek an opinion for yourself or your loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm in any way for any of us. So let's begin this. As we know, basically, autistic body language is somehow or somewhat a misnomer, in a sense that every autistic person is unique and special in their own unique way, like everyone else, having their own talents, gifts, and what have you. It's just sometimes with some of us with different conditions, such as autistics and everything else, some of the gifts and talents we have may show later. And it's up to us, like any of us, to shine out what we want to shine out. So it is difficult to make generalizations, obviously, about autistic people as a whole, knowing us as a whole. You know, this video I'm hoping to explain to you all or discuss with you all about the common patterns and misconceptions about the autistic body language, and hopefully when applying this certain information that I'm giving to you all today, be sure to consider the autistic loved one as an individual and not to, label them or what have you. Because as I said before, the labels is not really good for any given child when young and whatnot. And remember that each step won't apply to each and every person that I'm sharing with you all. It might, for some, occur for everybody, but it pays to just, learn this as I educate you all today, and I'll learn something along the way as well, being an Aspie myself. So this is going to be broken into two parts here. So the first one is, for the first two parts, is into methods. Method 1, avoid misconceptions. Number 1, remember that different is not deficient. Autistic people who communicate different to you. You just need to be more patient and understand to why we do and see things in a different light. How we say and do things may cause confusion for you neurotypicals, but this just us because we see our world differently to you guys. The way how we communicate or say what we say or do doesn't mean or make that communication inferior to you guys, even if we think that, we're smarter, brighter than you guys, whatever it may be. Each and every person, including non-autistic people, however, has their unique mannerisms and unique talking styles. And there's no right or wrong way in personal expression and how to express yourself in a way. It's just being considerate of others. Number 2, don't come with expectations about how they should act. It's a given. 9 times out of 10, from what I've witnessed and have experienced in my life, sometimes I feel that I have to act a certain way towards you guys, be it regardless what it is. And sometimes I feel like I'm really trapped in a little rabbit hole sometimes, and it feels really scary sometimes when I'm trying my hardest just to, express myself, in a way, and I try to be my own normal self, and sometimes I feel that, as I said, with certain expectations of people, that they want me to act and dress a certain way or act and think a certain way, but then again, we should be able to be, humans, so to speak, or be our unique selves. You see, you may have a fairly narrow view of what each specific behaviour may mean to you. For a classic example, if you assume that lack of eye contact means that I'm not paying attention to you, you may think also like this about an autistic person that's directly ignoring you bluntly, when they actually are paying close attention, regardless if there's no eye contact involved. I know that, as I said before, I've shared about the why eye contact is difficult for most of us autistics. I'll link that in the description or into the iCard for you guys to read on or watch to understand what I'm sharing with you all today. Work on being open-minded and getting to know the autistic individual. Accept and embrace our differences, as well as our flaws and imperfections. Sure, after all, we are two humans, not a robot or some toy that you just wish to throw us away at any given moment of time just because you get tired and bored of us. Number 3, welcome and embrace differences, and don't be afraid of the body language that you may not or don't even understand about from us. This may be new to you, and that's okay. Weird faces and flapping of the arms may seem so unpredictable to you, but that doesn't mean the autistic person, however, is dangerous. Far from it. Or another way of looking at it, we're not here to hurt you. Take a deep breath and relax. We are only doing this to keep us calmer and also to be sure that we don't have too much of a sensory overload, etc. Number 4, look for context. Because body language is complicated for all of us to understand, not just us autistics in general. All autistic people are diverse. There's no easy list flowchart of body language logic. Look for some contextual clues around the environment, what has been said, the facial expressions that has been shown, and the use of your own key judgment. Number 5, when in doubt, just ask us. It's okay to ask us for clarifications about someone else's feelings. Here's for us also to do the same for you. And it's certainly better than getting frustrated or even confused to give out the misunderstandings as well as maybe a disagreement for you all. Autistic people can understand the feeling of needing clarification about feelings as long as you're polite and respectful. It's perfectly okay. You could say, I notice you've been fidgeting a lot while you've been talking. Is there something up or is this just a normal part of listening for you? Number 2, I noticed that you haven't been looking at me while I've been talking. Is this a part of your listening body language? Okay, the last but not least, the set of this part of the series or of this video is method 2, understanding the autistic differences. As you know, basically, we need to understand this as this is just a little bit of general tips from a friendly Aspie from me to you guys to help you understand your loved one better who is maybe autistic or not. An individual autistic person's body language may match many of these steps that I'm sharing with you all today, but not necessarily all of them again. So let's begin this. Number 1, recognize that stimming can have many different meanings. If you meet an autistic person who stims around you, it often means they do trust you to let them be themselves, that they can be human, letting them all out of expressing themselves. It's a form of expression for ourselves to express ourselves. It also has deep meaning depending on the everyday given situation or even just depending on where we are at that given moment of time. It may be an expression of emotion, a way to reduce stress, or sensory overload, as I've shared so many times before, a focusing aid, or something else. Here are ways to get the hints. Number 1, the facial expressions. Stimming while smiling usually means something different from stimming while frowning, even though many people think that us autistics frown all the time. Number 2, words and sounds. What we say or the sounds we make, crying, giggling, etc., can give clues towards our feelings. Number 3, the context. A woman who waves her arms when showing a puppy is probably excited, while if she is waving her arms and whining while working on a difficult project, she may be frustrated or is in a need of desire break. Sometimes stimming has no emotional meaning, however, similar to how standing up or stretching has no indicator of your moods. Number 2, recognize that looking elsewhere is often part of the autistic listening body language. Eye contact can be distracting or painful for many of us autistic people on the spectrum. So they may look at your shirt, your hands, the space next to you, their own hands, and the list goes on. Their eyes may be unfocused during this time. This is usually because their brain is focusing on your very words of what you're sharing with us. Don't forever assume just because we're not looking at you, we aren't paying attention to you, or we're just being plain, blunt, rude to you. Believe me, we are listening to you and every word you're saying to us. If you think that we may be zoning out, try saying our name, verbally getting our attention, or gently waving your hand in front of our eyes if nothing else works. Number 3, interpret a blank expression as a thoughtful one, not just a plain empty one. Many autistic people relax their facial features when the mind is really super busy and hyper-focused on something, and they have so many racing thoughts that's going on inside their brains. It's like a switch that you can turn on and off. Or another way of looking at a classic example is it's like we're on a race car circuit and we're just going non-stop around the circuits and bends with no desire to stop at that given moment of time. This may include the following: a faraway gaze, a slightly open mouth, and a general lack of expression. Some autistic people assume the expression be by default when they're focusing on listening to someone, or if an autistic person is staring into space by themselves, assume they are in deep thought. They can still hear you, but get their attention first if you want to let them listen to you. Number 4, expect stimming as part of our everyday regular body language. As I said before, stimming can help us with many ways, be it a self-calming technique or keeping us in focus and just feeling good in general. If an autistic person is stimming while talking to you, assume that it is enhancing them rather than detracting their focus from you. Number 5, don't automatically interpret wild random facial expression as anger or frustration. Some autistic people make odd faces now and again. Usually this means what they are uncomfortable enough around you not to censor themselves, which is a very good sign. Here are some potential meanings: happiness, being act while smiling and having fun. 2, stimming, they need to keep their facial muscles moving, similar to how you might play with a zipper or toss around a baseball if you haven't had enough activity going on for yourselves. 3, being silly, they want to make you smile. 4, natural expression. Some disabled people's normal expressions look different from non-disabled people's expressions. 5, frustration or pain. Look for these contextual clues again to see if this matches. 6, be aware of any movement disabilities. Movements that may seem jerky, clumsy, forceful, or angry may not mean anger at all. It may be dyspraxia, cerebral palsy, or any other sensory processing disorders or disability that can affect the ease of our movements around us. If they often move this way, attribute it to their natural physical challenges and be aware of misreading them as upset when they're trying to do something. 7, look for agitation. Autistic people are at high risk for anxiety and may experience sensory issues that cause discomfort and pain. Unusually agitated movements, including the symptoms paired with a blank or upset facial expression, may mean that the autistic person do need a break. This can be useful for when a meltdown or shoutdown is about to occur and to prevent it in this formal manner. Number 8, last but not least, understand that it's okay not to be understood. Autistic people can do all sorts of different things, from calling beep 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 in tandem with the microwave timer to smiling and going limp when being hugged. Don't worry about it. Recognize the value in these differences and appreciate them for who and what they are as a person. Well, this quickly ends basically a short, brief overview of how to interpret autistic body language. If you'd like 4 thumbs up for support and engagement, comment below. Feel free to also share how you guys understand autistic body language, or for autistics, how do you guys express yourselves? Is it stimming? Is it based on your facial expression and the like? Feel free to share these in the discussion board, so hopefully we can learn from each other and to educate others around us. Feel free to follow me on my social media sites. Feel free to also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, because as I said, I hope to do this on the daily, weekly, as well as also if you want to be part of my YouTube family, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to also turn on the notification bells if you haven't done so already once you've subscribed, basically, and then you'll be up to date with what I've been up to with new content when I do tend to upload or what have you. And also share these videos around to family and friends. And all further ado, guys, thanks for the support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon.